Doug, thanks very much for talking this morning at the EPN meeting. You were talking about your experiences and findings working within Michael Page in the procurement sector, very much in terms of recruitment trends and reflections on coming out of a recession and where we are now, where things are going to be in the future. It's very interesting. I was wondering if you could give us a quick summary of your key points that you were making this morning at the session you delivered.
A number of key points. The initial reflections were based on what's happened in recruitment and procurement recruitment given global economic changes over the last few years, with a view whereby people thought if they were in the position to go to market to find any individuals, that perhaps there'd be plenty of individuals for them there to actually find. It's a quality quantity thing in terms of who was out there, and I think what has happened over the last few years is the kind of individuals that are needed to create a successful procurement organisation that perhaps are more forward-thinking, more integrated in the business and more commercial, have been harder to find. Those are the individuals who've been in jobs and are being kept in jobs in organisations. The people that are on the market are not necessarily those individuals. The people who are in organisations and in roles which are quite comfortable in it and are forward-thinking are not putting their heads necessarily above the parapet to then move out into the marketplace to look for a new job. They'd rather stay where they are, create their own niche, keep doing what they're doing. They don't want to be last into a new organisation and potentially first out on the other side. So I think that there's been a bit of a mismatch in terms of expectations in the marketplace about who's actually been required and wanted to move departments forward. And that's just carried on over the last couple of years. If you look at the current marketplace at the moment, which is what everyone's keen to know about, in terms of what's happening out there, the market has been getting a lot better in terms of opportunities and being able to find people, but perhaps has slowed a bit again over the last few months. And to attract the best people, one, you need the right channels to marketplace, which have probably changed in terms of attracting people. So the impact of social media for people to actually look for roles, the impact of the internet for that to happen has changed greatly. It's created access to more people through profiles and things, but it's harder to actually ascertain who's actually looking seriously, which is actually making things perhaps a bit more challenging to identify the top talent. The other piece of that is that other people are always looking at identifying your talent through things like LinkedIn and being able to search their profiles, etc. So that's changing in terms of actually sourcing the candidates. I think the other challenge in the current marketplace is people are a bit nervous about actually making decisions, hiring decisions. So it was interesting to do a show of hands in the room and find out that 90% of people wanted to recruit. Yeah. From talking to people again now, the issue is they can't. So they're being told by their organisation perhaps they can't do it, or the processes they're running are just a little bit too long. Yeah. And what's happening is there are increased stages going in, more people being met, more thorough assessments. The longer that goes on, sometimes the less the candidate interest, that by the time you get to the end of the process, the candidate is nervous about making a move anyway, but perhaps when they see that at the end, they're not entirely sure whether that thorough process has put them off or attracted them to the organisation. So there's plenty of challenges out there that's going on. We still need to find the good talent. They need to go through a good process and they need to be brought into the organisation that they're perhaps making a move towards.